Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Phil. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the channel. I have a bit of a problem I'm going to share with you guys. I shared it with my motorcycle group and I'm a little bit stuck with something on my bike and I'm not sure what to do with it. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I like to do some touring trips on whatever bike I happen to have at the time. And of course I have my Harley Heritage now, which the saddlebags are pretty small for that, but I still plan to do some longer trips with it. And I was just going to put on a sissy bar and buy, some sissy bar bags, stuff like that. So, okay, fine and dandy. So I bought a sissy bar and went to put it on. And of course with a sissy bar, you have to take the bolts out of the saddlebag to put the sissy bar on between the saddlebag and the frame. No big deal, right? So I start taking the bolts off and find out that one of them is super stuck. I ended up stripping the head of the bolt trying to get it unstuck, which is great. So I'm like, well, what do I do now? I do what everybody does, Google it. And so most of my results on Google talked about getting a screw extractor and drilling into the bolt, putting a screw extractor, and getting it out that way. So I did that. Before I did that, I put a text out to my group thread, the group that I ride with, and one of the guys there runs a shop. I have another video there if you haven't seen it, a guy from the Cycle Den. He manages that, and he said, well, you can bring it in and we can take care of it. So I thought, well, let me try and do it myself first. Okay, so I went and got a screw extractor and had to drill in about 5/8 of an inch before the extractor would even, the bit would even grip the bolt. So finally got that in, and I'm sitting there tightening that thing up, and I've got a 6-inch wrench on it, and I am tightening both hands as hard as I can go, and it's not budging that bolt. And I'm afraid this thing's going to snap off, because I see that in the reviews a lot with screw extractors, that you yank them too hard and they just snap, and then you've got a bit inside your bolt and now you're really stuck. So I wasn't sure what to do at this point. I texted out to a guy and he said, well, did you put some heat on it? So I did that. I took a couple of these candle lighter things. I know they don't put out tons of heat, but I saw a video on YouTube that said that if you let them sit for long enough, they'll actually provide enough heat to loosen up the Loctite or whatever's on the bolt that's causing it to be stuck. So I did that. I took 2 of these, and I'm going to show you what things look like now, but I'm really curious if anybody has any ideas what to do next, because adding all the heat that I could afford to add without feeling like I was going to damage the bike, maybe I was too wimpy about it, I don't know, but with 2 of these candle lighters and the thing still wouldn't budge. I don't know if somebody welded the bolt on or what the deal is, but anyway, so we're going to switch around to the front face, and we are going to take a look and see what we have going on and see if anybody has any ideas on what we do from where we go from here. Okay, so here we have this bolt here, which has been drilled out probably 5/8 of an inch, like I said. And then I put the extractor in, and I put these 2 candle lighters. The actual threads go into this guy here. So I put 2 candle lighters here on the edge of this for a couple of minutes. I even took one back behind underneath the fender, and where the bolt is basically flush with the fender there, and to see if coming from the back end, if that would, getting some heat there would loosen that up, and put one of these on there for a minute or so. And even with all of that heat, it still wouldn't come free. Oh, by the way, if you decide to try this some point in time, make sure you take your back seat off, because the heat coming up from here is hot enough that it was actually starting to damage the bottom of my seat. Anyway, So I'm really curious if anybody has any ideas what to do from here. Am I gonna have to try to get a hacksaw in between here and just cut the bolt and then see if I can just drill it out completely? Or should I buy a heat gun? Maybe these things aren't providing enough heat and I need to just get a heat gun from Home Depot or something. They're like 30 or 40 bucks. And you know, they put like, I don't know, 500, 700 degrees to the area in front of them. My concern is that's gonna really damage the saddlebags. And the heat guns obviously don't have a very pinpointed, it's kind of more of a large area that they focus on. And so I'm concerned it's going to damage the saddlebags. The other possibility is to get a blowtorch, and that I can aim the heat a little bit more to there, and it'll add more heat. But I'm not convinced on that yet, because the amount of heat it's going to put out might still damage the saddlebag. So if anybody's got any ideas, I'd appreciate any thoughts, because I'm not going to be able to do any significant amount of touring on this thing without a sissy bar, and I don't see how I can put one on here while that bolt is completely stuck. So have some thoughts, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Talk to you all later.